I'm Lori Smith, the chairman of the board of directors for the Clarksville-Montgomery County Education Foundation. I'd like to take a moment to welcome our third-year award recipients and their families to this recognition ceremony where we have the opportunity to celebrate you and your accomplishments. For your entire high school career, you've maintained an above-average academic focus. We're very proud of you, and we hope that you feel honored tonight. Let's give all of our students and their families a round of applause. Also in attendance this evening are some esteemed guests from our community who've chosen to spend their evening with you to celebrate you. We have members of the Clarksville-Montgomery County School Board. If you'll please stand. And the Clarksville City Council. County Mayor Jim Durrett and Clarksville Mayor Joe Pitts were unable to be with us tonight due to scheduling conflicts, but they both asked that I express to you how proud they are of each of you. Each year, the Education Foundation board and staff work together to ensure that we have funding for events like this. We're also able to do this because of our committed sponsors who place academic recognition among the top of their charitable recognitions. Because of our sponsors, we've been able to provide this event for 30 years. Please take a look at your program and on your table and look at the names of all of the companies that have sponsored our program. I'm going to call their names, and if we have representatives from those companies, if you would please stand. Our title sponsor this evening is Jostens Publishing. We have CDE Light Band, CEMC, DBS and Associates, WBW Developers, Bridgestone Metalfa, Kevin Kennedy and the Kennedy Law Firm, Legends Bank, Planners Bank, Premier Medical Group, Rufus Johnson Associates, and Wyatt Johnson Automotive. Thank you to all of our sponsors. I also want to thank the members of our Education Foundation Board of Directors, past and present. If we have any in attendance tonight, could you please stand? Again, the Education Foundation participates in fundraising for programs that support our 4 areas of focus: student achievement, classroom innovation, improving public education, and building community partnerships. We say that our dollar begins where tax dollars ends, and that is what allows us to put on events like this tonight. So you're in for a great evening, and I'm honored to be able to celebrate with you. At this time, we'll have the presentation of colors by members of the Clarksville High School JROTC under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Brian Keeter. Please stand, and our national anthem will be sung by Northwest High School cadet Emily Sawyer.
Color guard, halt, order, colors, left, base, carry, colors, freeze and arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets were clear, the
Congratulations on being here at the 30th Annual Academic Awards Banquet. This academic recognition event is in partnership with the Clarksville County, Montgomery County School System and the Montgomery County Education Foundation. And it is one of a kind in the state of Tennessee. No other county or school system in the state currently does this. And we have been doing it for 30 years. This program has also grown each year, and it has our best and brightest students representing all 8 high schools in our district are in this room right now. It is these students, it is you, the students here tonight who will innovate, create, and change the world. We have valedictorians, salutatorians, scholarship recipients, honor society members, athletes, just to name a few of the accolades. And we are very proud of these students and that they will graduate from our school system. I'd like to take a moment just to share a little bit about the history of the event. The purpose of this event, the Academic Awards program, has always been to honor students in the highest manner for academic excellence. To receive this honor, students must have achieved a 93 average for the past 2 semesters with no grade lower than an 85 in any one subject. This is the criteria that has remained the same for all 30 years. Tonight, only 3rd-year recipients will be honored at this formal banquet. 1st and 2nd-year recipients will be honored at their school's awards ceremony. You can see a complete list in the Leaf Chronicle tab that's at your table of all students and pictures that you should, and we also have a few extra in the back if you'd like some. To date, over 15,905 CMCSS high school students have received an academic award. It's pretty amazing. And that number, we have 1,254 sophomores, juniors, and seniors receiving the award this year. And this year, we have 258 third-year recipients. That is the highest in the history of the Academic Awards Banquet. So congratulations on having more academic success than anybody else. Again, I congratulate each of you and your families on this major accomplishment. We wish you continued success in your future endeavors. Right now, I'd like to ask the Director of Schools, Mr. Millard House, to come and provide the invocation so we can enjoy our dinner.
Good evening. I know I stand between food and the program, so I promise not to keep you long. Of course, we know we're gathered here to honor and celebrate the gifts of these wonderful young men and young women and what they offer. Students, as you come close to this part of your journey, let hope, honesty, and love continue to be at the core of your daily work. My hope for each of you is that our school system has given you a foundation for your future and the success that you will need ahead. To borrow a quote from Albert Einstein that reads, "Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow." Tonight, please live in the moment of your accomplishments, and let us take joy in watching you do so. Congratulations for all that you've done. And at this time, before we actually move forward and have the meal, please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Please continue enjoying your meal as we continue on with the program. I would now like to ask CMCSS Director of Schools, Mr. House, to come introduce our guest speaker for the evening.
Well, I will say that you guys are in for a treat this evening. Especially our students. I want you guys to pay close attention to Lieutenant General Ronald Bailey. He is wisdom and knowledge in a suit, and it is an honor and privilege for me to introduce him this evening. Lieutenant General Ron Bailey is a former deputy commandant, Plans, Policies, and Operations for the U.S. Marine Corps. Was named Vice President for External Affairs at APSU this past summer. Bailey, a 1977 APSU graduate, oversees the university's Offices of Advancement, Communications, and Strategic Initiatives. While a student at APSU, Bailey played football for the Governors and participated in the school's ROTC program. In 1977, shortly after he graduated with a bachelor's in science, the emphasis in biology, Bailey was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the U.S. Marine Corps. During his impressive 40-year career, he oversaw the Marine Corps recruiting command and also served as a commanding general for the 1st Marine Division as a commanding general of the 3rd Marine Expeditionary Brigade and a deputy director of the operations of the Joint Staff. He also was a military national fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations. Bailey earned a graduate degree from Weber State University and the National War College, and his awards include the Defensive Superior Service Medal, Bronze Oak Leaf, Legion of Merit with Combat V Emeritus Service Medal with 2 Gold Stars, Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with Gold Star, and the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, President Knight Citation, and finally a Combat Action Ribbon. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming retired Lieutenant General Ron Bailey.
Miller, thank you very much for the introduction. I'm gonna put this cup up here because for the students, I want to tell you what's in your cup. What are you gonna put in your cup? You're the future leaders of America. Good evening to our distinguished guests, family, and friends, and to our elected officials and the board of directors. It is indeed an honor for me to have the opportunity to spend this very special evening with you. I'm thrilled to be a part of this very terrific ceremony, one where we take the time to recognize our distinguished graduates, or at least our honor students, our higher achievers who have maintained for 3 years a 93% average. Students, I need you to help me do a favor. I know we've had the opportunity to give you all a round of applause, but I want all of the honor students to stand up, please. Please, those who are being recognized, please stand. Well, thank you, parents and friends. That was not what I intended to do, but thank you anyway. But what I want the students to do is stay standing, students, is give your family a round of applause because you didn't get here on your own. You got here because you had someone supporting you. So tell them that you love them and tell them thank you for all that they've done for you. Thank you. This evening, I would like to share with you what I call a collection of wisdom. Things I've experienced while sitting around drinking coffee or drinking some tea around the water cooler or with individuals of great stature and standing. But first, I want to tell you a little story before I get into what's in your cup. There was these 3 men who were sentenced to be guillotined: a priest, a doctor, and a mechanic. Each was allowed to make one last statement prior to this execution. The priest was the first one up. He approached the bench. His final words were, "I've saved a lot of souls. Keep the faith." The blade dropped on the priest, and it came within 2 inches. Mysteriously, it stopped, and everybody said, "That's a miracle." And with that, they said, "Set the priest free." Then came the doctor. The doctor was next. He held his head high and uttered, "Physician, save the world." Once again, the guillotine, it dropped and mysteriously stopped just a few inches from the doctor. They said, "It must be another sign. The doctor's innocent. Please let the doctor go." Finally, the mechanic came up. He approached the chopping block and with a poor sense of timing said, "If you tighten them 2 bolts over there, this thing might work." The moral of the story is that some people think they have all the answers. And so I say to you, no matter who you are or what you do, you don't have all the answers. Education is a lifelong process. So you should continue to educate yourself every day until you can. Every day is a commencement day. So I say to you, stay grounded, don't become arrogant, be respectful, and stay focused. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to be in the presence of a lot of very interesting people. Ambassador Kennedy in New York City, Colin Powell, Richard Haas, who you see on the TV on a regular basis, president of the Council on Foreign Relations, Max Booth, who's at the Council on Foreign Relations, spent many, many nights at the Boxing Hall of Fame with Leon Spinks. Franco Harris spent several evenings with Doug Williams, James Harris, who was the first African-American to play quarterback in the NFL. I exchanged emails for a while with Sheryl Sandberg, who was the CEO of Facebook. And then I know and spent time with the former Secretary of Defense, Jim Mattis, I know him very well, and Robert Gates. In addition to that, I had the opportunity when I was a fellow to spend some time with Madeleine Albright, Kofi Annan, Richard Gere, Walter Cronkite. All of these individuals, I had the opportunity to sit and spend an evening or a day just talking with them. And I took a lot of notes. I always had a card file in my top coat pocket, and I would take a lot of notes. And so I say to you, the difference between where you are today and where you will be tomorrow or 5 years from now will be the people that you hang around with, the people that you meet, and the books you read. So I say to you, hang around good people and read good books. Now, the book I'm going to recommend that you read, it's a very easy read. It's a very, very easy read. And it's titled Make Your Bed. And it's written by Admiral McCraven. In it, he talks about his time in the military, but mostly he talks about being in the SEALs and how making his bed was the start of his day and the difference that it made in the start of the day as you make your bed and it sets your attitude for what your day was going to be like. So everything starts with making the bed. And so with that, I want to share with you some things that I discovered. And these things that I discovered, I'm going to call them my top 10. And these are the top 10 lessons that I want to share with you. But before I share with you these top 10, I want to give you what I call a framework for life. I'm going to give you an acronym. It's called FOCUS, F-O-C-U-S. Find your mentor and later become one. Observe your mentor and professionals in your field. Create relationships to help you achieve your dream. Use your resources and strive to make a difference every day. So I say to you, what's in your cup? Some of us like to drink coffee. Some of us like to drink tea. Let me tell you some lessons I picked up on from those great individuals that I had an opportunity to hang around for the last 40 years of my life while I was in the United States Marine Corps. And it was a very interesting 40 years as I closed out that time where I was responsible for all 187,000 Marines in the Corps and their movement, their strategy, and the things that they do. I had the opportunity to write down a few things and pick up a few things from people. So number one, associate yourself with people of integrity. Those without it will undermine your best efforts, diminish your effectiveness, and poison you and your organization. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. No one can take your integrity away from you. You have to give it away. Don't give it away. Number two, work in a positive mode. You see, for me, attitude is a force multiplier. One of the best things you ever want to read about attitude, if you just type up attitude, and it'll pop up, and Charles Swindoll will come up. And it's a nice little write-up about attitude, more important than money, more important than school, everything. A positive attitude shapes the organization. It's a force multiplier. So I commend that to you, to always work in a positive environment. And don't advance on the troubles and problems of others. We're all too quick to lend an ear to listen to the latest scoop and gossip. Stay out of gossip. Just remember, your altitude is determined by your attitude. So I say to you, shoot for the stars, be optimistic, and see life in its sunnier side. Now I'd like for, let me find these gentlemen. Esau, David, you know who you are. Stand up. Austin Kidd, come on, stand up. Don't hide from me. And William Powell, you should say Austin Powell, but anyway, these two guys from Clarksville. Where are my other two? You're hiding on me. Where's Esau? Ah, there he is. Oh, okay, all right. Well, you know, I had the opportunity to meet these two gentlemen before when I came in, and I was just so impressed. And I wanted them to stand up because one is aspiring to go to West Point. One has already been told he's going to West Point, and the other's going to Lipscomb. And I just wanted to have them stand up because they are symbolic of the quality of people that are surrounding us who are truly moving to a high altitude. Yes. So thank you very much. Hoorah. Thank you. You all can sit down. Number 3, take risks early in your life. It gives you time to recover if you screw up. Believe me. Trust me on that one. Okay? Number 4, be inquisitive. Now, I know your parents have shared with you these great insights and things that you can write down and remember, but I'm going to tell you and emphasize them again. Be inquisitive. And then assume nothing. I had a very interesting experience about making an assumption. I was in New York City, and I know this is an Army town, so you very seldom see a Marine uniform. But I'm going to describe this Marine uniform. It's our evening dress. It's black, has long gold columns on it, have 3 stars on there, have a red vest, and the black trousers have a gold stripe down it. So I walked in the Waldorf Astoria with 2 other gentlemen, and when I walked in, I realized they were taking pictures. So we just paused and started taking pictures as if we were part of the crowd. You know, I'm looking good in my uniform and everything, and so we paused. I said, hey, we might as well, we're here now, we're on the red carpet. So we continued to walk in, and when we got in, it was a ceremony like this. It was to recognize the individuals who were responsible for establishing one of the programs. And Oprah Winfrey was there. So Oprah was sitting about right here. I was sitting over here, and, you know, I was impressed, Oprah. So while I was sitting there, Oprah did like this. You know, I knew I was in my evening dress with the red vest. I'm like, I'm a bad dude. So then Oprah did it again. I'm like, okay. I didn't see no Stedman. So you know, this is a true story. I'm not exaggerating and stretching this out. And so then I kind of, you know, put my chest up like this, and I made an assumption. I go like this to Oprah. And then I saw her look, and she was looking at Michael Douglas that was behind me. So never assume, students, don't assume. You know, you gotta remember that. Don't assume. I wasn't embarrassed. I just put my head down, you know. But, you know, just never assume. Keep your eyes and ears open and ask questions. Number 5, know your weaknesses and surround yourself with good people. When you know your weakness, you will make up for it in other ways. That's right. And you make up for it by surrounding yourself with someone who can do what you can't do. And it's okay, you can't do everything, but know your weakness. More importantly, that means you know yourself. Always seek to gain a competitive advantage. This you gain by having a plan, being prepared, take time to practice, because it will lead to a wonderful performance. And if you remember those P's, it'll take you a long ways when the right time comes. Number 7, always accept full responsibility for everything you do in your life. Now, I have this Bailey equation. I call it L plus R equals O. Life plus your reaction to it equals an outcome. No matter what you do, no matter what happens, it's how you react to it that's going to determine an outcome. Right. Number 8, can't let no one outwork you. Okay? Don't let anybody outwork you. I'm not saying you are day on, stay on, but life is tough. Challenges are out there. Sometimes you're up here, sometimes you're down here. Don't be down here because you didn't put in the time. You want to be up here because you had a plan, you prepared yourself, you practiced, and you performed. But life is tough, but just remember, if you work hard, things will come to you. May not come to you right away, but it'll come to you. Number 9, leadership by example. I say people may doubt what you say, but they will always believe what you do. I am a firm believer in leadership by example. All my days, I always tried to be out front, always would lead, and I would always be the one who take and accept full responsibility for what people do or fail to do in the organization. But leadership by example will shape you, and it will help you. And then number 10, this is a good one. Know your stuff. When you know your stuff, people are going to come to you, they're going to ask for you, they're going to want to be around you, and they're going to make sure you're on the team. You know your stuff, you don't have to worry about anything. And in knowing your stuff, there are a couple of things I'll tell you. Don't ever stop reading. I learned an invaluable lesson that when you're a very good writer, people are reading what you write. And there are people who are always going to put you on their team. They will put you on that team because you can think and you can write. Just trust me on this one. If you're a very good writer and a briefer, you will always have a job because you're going to be writing a speech for somebody like some lawyer. Yeah. I would say. So, there is no substitute for knowledge. Show the world your masterpiece every day. As I close, you have 3 choices in life. You can give up, you can give in, and you can give it all you got. I tell you to give it all you got. I always keep this poem in my wallet. And now that I'm saying that, I hope I can find it. There it is. You see, my cup's filled with this poem. And it says, don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, the funds are low and the debts are high, you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Congratulations and best wishes to you. Hoorah.
At this time, we'll begin the individual award presentations. Try to hold your applause until the principal receives a presented award.
The honorees from Clarksville High School are Brooklyn Danielle Honoru. Reagan Elizabeth Abbott. Madison Rachel Allen. Isabella Haley Arlovsky. Madison Kendall Averett. Madeline Rose Bissell. Zachary Jacob Boyd. Lindsay Paige Chester. Lucy Claire Chilcutt. Allison Gail Crawford. Alexis Brianna Darosset. Katie Lynn Dunn. Emily Catherine Dice. Caroline Diane Fisher. Serena Eleanor Gant. Shelby Rose Gibson. Molly Grace Goins. Claudine Marie Habib. Scotty Lynn Harrison. Catherine Elizabeth Hoskins. Nicholas Taylor James. Blessing Bongwi Jater. Isai Christian Jimenez. Patrick Thomas Johnson. Austin Stewart Kidd. Emma Lenore Crone. Scott Lamb. Gracie Kathleen Leverett. Hannah Elizabeth McGeesick. Jessica Janae Medford. Gwyneth Lee Metz. Zoe Elizabeth Moore. Kylie Elaine Moorfield. Hannah Grace Myers. Madison Rose Pickett. Charlie Fernando Plata. William Bradford Powers. Gabriel Robles Nieles. Caitlin Nicole Rogers. Sadie Rayanne Sims. Kellen Olivia Skillen. Grant Nolan Smith. Alexia Ann Snow. Yejun Song. Ellie Carolyn Streeter. Miu Torisu. Rachel Allison Tucker. David Allen Vinci. Caden Leanna Welch. Jacob Charles Wells. And James Hogan Wiggins.
Mr. Feldman, on behalf of CMCSS and the Education Foundation Board, we'd like to present you this plaque listing all of Clarksville High School award recipients for 2019. Display it proudly so that their legacy will always be remembered.
From Kenwood High School, we have Chris Allen Adamson, Allison Leah Balsinger, Calvin Lee Brown, Adam Matthew DeMerchant, Alan Jair Garcia Gill, Kyreek Tayshawn Getter, Rochelle Alcosha Jude, Joy Hallie King Riley, Emma Lucille Cruiser, Curtis Michael LeBlanc, Alexia Marie Little, Hannah Faith Loeb, Manuel Eduardo Martinez, Susan Marie McCaskill, Catherine Elizabeth Slavren, Tajay Zavarius Williams Harley, and Alyssa Kishin Young.
Mr. Chadwell, on behalf of CMCSS and the Foundation Board, we'd like to present you with this plaque listing all Kenwood High School Academic Award recipients for 2019. Display it proudly so that their legacy will always be remembered, sir.
Diwa Ahmadzai. Michaela Jessica Hammonds. Madison Leanne Harris. Abigail Leora Honbarger. Kaylee Brooke Levine. Nevaeh Denise Leachman. Gabriella Allison Morin. Tony Danielle Peacher. Tamisha Ross. Isabel Elizabeth Seguin. Catherine Elizabeth Sheffield. Destiny Marie Stone. Amaya Marie Saharsky.
Ms. Champion Emerson, on behalf of CMCSS and the Foundation Board, we'd like to present you with this plaque listing all Middle College Academic Award recipients for 2019. Please display it proudly so that the legacy of these students will always be remembered.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of introducing the third-year award recipients from Montgomery Central High School. Kaylee Nicole Austin, Shelby Lane Batson, Jordan Noah Campbell, Aurelia Faye Christie, Jessica Marie C. Marconi, Scott William Coulter, Dakota Aaron Danner, Andrew Franklin Dennis, Joseph Daniel Downs, Jaden Madison Flake, Destiny Lynn Fox, Alyssa Marie Giacalone, Hunter Brooke Hayes, Hannah Lynn Heberer, Catherine Grace Johnson, Darylise Marie Lugo, Betty Mae Miller, Emily Catherine Parker, Cheyenne Elizabeth Priest, Lydia Marie Rankhorn, Ashlyn Taylor Reed, Jessica Lynn Troiani, Josie Vernona Valentine, Isaac Lee Van Wormer, JC Dale Wall, Kaylee Jean Waskowitz, Autumn Elizabeth Wertz, Demia Shantae Wisdom Yarber, Brianna Gail Witt. I present to you the third-year Academic Award recipients from Montgomery Central High School.
Ms. Houston, on behalf of the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System and the Education Foundation, we would like to present you with a plaque listing all Montgomery County High School Academic Award recipients for 2019. Please display it proudly so that the legacy of these kids will be remembered forever.
The Northeast recipients of this year's Academic Awards, Tyrese Jaquan Belcher. Dawson Lee Brackett. Cleveland Alexander Brookhart. Javen Christopher Calhoun. Zoe Fallon Campbell. Ariana Michelle Calazzo. Tyon Thomas Fonder. Lauren Raquel Graves. Autumn Mackenzie Hale. Calandra Maureen Henry. Christina Marie Hess. Mackenzie Lauren Johnson. Timothy James Jordan. Bethany Kirkpatrick. Mackenzie Taylor Larson. Chloe Ray Linville. Mia Lopez. Marissa Rochelle Lott. Chances Imari McDonald. Owen Connor Medrano. Cole Blake Myers. Latirius Marquise Miller. Kira Lane Nelson. Thomas Lee Ogburn Jr. Brianna Nicole Olds. Shakila Shalise Owens. Elena Deborah Petch. Melody Ann Phillips. Kylie Mariah Plute. Nicolette Sade Richmond. Madison Ann Russell. Alana Mayani Smithson. Lauren Marie Veltri. Mackenzie Patrice Ward. John Ellis White.
With the principal of Northeast High School, Tavis Massey, sorry. And your presenter, please come forward and recognize your, missed up in the thing. Travis, on behalf of the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System and the Education Foundation, we would like to present you with this plaque. Please present it and display it proudly so that the recipients will be remembered.
The third year Academic Award recipients from Northwest High School are Haley Elaine Duffer, Eileen Giselle Gutierrez, Olivia Nicole Humphreys, Julia Rose Krantz, Adriana Grace Luke, Alan Martinez, Olivia Katerina Ortiz, Isabella Marie Paith, Lydia Jean Ritter, Joshua Caleb Rivers McCullough, Kyla Ann Segabart, Madeline Grace Scow, Taylor Marie Spain-Howard, Callista Lynn Tasker, Lydia Janelle Townsend. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Dr. McElroy, on behalf of the Clarksville-Montgomery County School System and the Education Foundation Board, we'd like to present you this plaque listing all of Northwest Academic Award recipients for 2019 to your school. Please display it proudly so that their legacy will always be remembered.
Ebony Iona Appleton, Louis Andrea Spady, Joseph Palmer Bierman, Caleb Jalen Blocker, Matthew Keith Bowman, Catherine Elizabeth Boyer, Kaylee Grace Brewington, O'Neill McAllister Brooks, Matthew Wayne Brown, Joseph Alexander Brundage, Corey Hope Bunner, Venkata Satya Burrell, Emily Michelle Caldarelli, Cameron Gray Carroll, Adeline Elizabeth Carter, Madison Elise Casella, Andrea Carolina Castaneda, Robert Joseph Krause, James David DeRosa, Amy Elizabeth Gatson, Bryn Baldwin Glenn. Emily Rose Grace. Caitlin Rose Grant. Bianca Marie Guarino. Sophie Lorraine Hall. Kyung Min Han. Amanda Kate Herrera. Kyle Scott Herrera. Bracy Elizabeth Lynn Hester. Rhiannon Marie Howard. Bradley Connor Huff. Joshua Edward Hunter. Kayla Dione Hunter. Junyoung M. John Alexander Jacobson. Stephen David Johnson. Taylor Marcel Johnson. April Nicole Jones. Kichul Kang. Mary Bormy Kim. Matthew Joseph Kowalski. Davina Mary Langarica. Kylie Mee Maxwell. Krista Lee McSwain. Abigail Grace Mills. Tiffany Virginia Min. Brody Savage Lee Minnick. Lindsay Bell Moore. Anthony Lee Nepple. Rachel Youngan Pion. Grace Parker Ramsey. Ashley Rands. Macy Page Rippey. Frankie Joel Rivera. Iva Mae Rubio. Michael Connor C. Shelby Ryan Spillane. Layla Ryan Stallions. Emery Kate Travers. Jordan Ray Vanetta. Cyrus Minu Wadia. Kendall Faith Waller. Zayden Jacob Weber. Jacob Andrew White. Samara Marie White. Benjamin Carl Zirkle. Ladies and gentlemen, the Academic Award recipients from Rossview High School.
Dr. Dowdy, on behalf of the CHS Montgomery County Education Foundation, we'd like to present you with this plaque listing all Rossview High School Academic Award recipients for 2019 to your school. Please display it proudly so their legacy will always be remembered.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of introducing the third-year academic recipients for West Creek High School. Madison Irene Bowden. Gabrielle Nicole Burnett. Anna Marie Cannon. Mackenzie O'Brien Carr. Taryn Jean Closen. Michaela Brianne Cunningham. Brianna Dawn Day. Christopher Logan Howard. Zachary Hunter Jagger. Bailey Marie McLaren. Drew William Morgan. Danya Nael Rabahat, Jacob Matthew Slight, and Ariana Jeanette Woolley. Thank you. These are your third-year West Creek Academic Award recipients.
Mr. Slight, on behalf of Clarksville-Montgomery County School System and the Education Foundation Board of Directors, we'd like to present you with this plaque listing all of West Creek Academic Award recipients for your school for 2019. Please display it proudly so that their legacy will always be remembered, sir. As we conclude the third-year recipient presentations for the 30th Annual Academic Awards Program, the legacy of these students will be remembered in each high school through these framed awards that were presented to each principal this evening. Let's give them all another round of applause. We are taking video and pictures this evening, and we hope to have them posted onto our social media page, which is CMC Education Foundation. So feel free to like and share those as they come available next week. Also on the Montgomery County School System Facebook site as well. I'd like to give special thanks to our School Planning Committee, Central Office Planning Committee, and our Education Foundation staff. Let's give them a round of applause. Without their behind-the-scenes work, this evening would not be possible. I wish you all safe travels on your way home and a wonderful senior year.